Hey, so every so often, Bang & Olufsen releases a signature product for their anniversary. So for their 90th birthday, they released the Beoplay 90, which is essentially a $100,000 speakers that will blow your brains off and anything else with it. I went and I've listened to these bad boys in the Bang & Olufsen store, and oh my goodness, yeah, you get what you pay for, but it it's insane. They're huge and they pack a lot of punch. They use up a lot of power, and it doesn't include the cost. The price doesn't include installation. I know, right? I asked the salesman, "Hey, so if I were to buy this one of these today, does it come with? Do I have to pay for shipping and installation?" He's like, "Yes, that would cost extra." I'm like, "Are you freaking serious?" Okay, just in case. Good to know. So that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is to talk about Bang & Olufsen's 95th anniversary signature product called the Bang & Olufsen H95s. What are they? They are Bang & Olufsen's premium take on the Bluetooth headphones. And yeah, I have one. And I have a lot of thoughts too. So if you want to know what my thoughts are, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's talk about it. Welcome back to the rant. So I feel like as an homage to the birthday, I think we should just start this thing off with a bit of unboxing. So let's look at what you get for $1,400. Let's do it. So as you can tell, Bang & Olufsen paid a lot of attention to the way that they presented the Beoplay H95s, and actually, for that matter, all of their products. But because this one is, I guess, the special one, the 95th anniversary product, you can tell that they put a lot more effort in how it's presented. So even from the outset, on the box outside, it's textured, it's heavy duty, it's thick, and it's really, really beautiful. If you want to have a quick look, that's kind of how thick it is. And so it's really, really nice. Moving past that, you have the main aluminum or aluminum box with your headphones in there. We'll have a look at that shortly. And then on the bottom, you have your starter guide and your microfiber cleaning cloth to clean your product. Now, moving on to the main event. Look, let's be honest. For $1,400, right, you kind of expect this. I mean, let's be honest. You kind of get what you pay for when you pay $1,400 and they give you a freaking hard shell, hard case made of aluminum, right? Not only that, it's a hard aluminum case with a lined interior for your freaking headphones. It's like, I mean, it's your headphones' house, right? So there you go. We'll put these headphones aside really quickly. We'll get into that shortly. And inside this case, we have this little pocket that houses your accessories. What you get in the box is you get your USB Type A to Type C to charge your headphones, and then you get a airplane adapter. What is this, right? What is an airplane? Because pandemic, you know. But when things open up, you can use that. And then you have your auxiliary or your audio cable. Now, both the audio cable and the charging cable have got leather on them. So the leather straps with the B&O logo embossed on there. Now, I want to tell you guys something really, really quickly. The box, I don't know what they did with it, but it smells freaking fantastic. All right, I'm not even joking with you. I know you can't smell, but watch this. Hold on. Let me just smell it really quickly in front of you guys right here. Yeah, look, I don't really know what that smell is. Actually, I know what that smell is. It smells like I have a hole in my pocket, right? It really does. If that is a smell of poverty, or at least a smell of not having $1,400, that's the smell. But my goodness, when you smell it, dopamine hits your brain. So I don't really mind. So let's talk headphones. You can see that these headphones are, let me just refocus really quickly. You can see that these headphones are absolutely gorgeous, right? They fold in like this to fit into the case. They fold out like so, when you want to wear them. And they fold inwards to fit your head. All right. Now let me tell you a little bit some of the materials that are used on these headphones. The top here is cowhide. Here is fabric. You got aluminum for the stems, aluminum for the main case. You know, plastic on the outer side of the headphones, and then you've got lambskin for the ear cups. Now they're magnetic, so they just pop in and pop off like so. They're very secure, so you don't have to worry about them flying off. Now inside, if you didn't get to see that, that's your main driver right there, and they're angled to get some better stereo imaging. Now I would say the lambskin ear cushions, they're really nice. It's really comfortable, it's breathable, and you could wear this for hours. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go talk about performance now for these pair and whether or not they're worth $1,400 for the sonic performance, and give you guys some beautiful cutaways of the Beoplay H95s. Now, when it comes to performance of the H95s, I will probably tell you right now, when it comes to horsepower, it is freaking amazing. Now, some people, let me just quickly make sure that we know kind of the constraints of this conversation. We're not talking, I'm not going to be comparing these things to, the $10,000 wired headphones that are designed to essentially teleport you to an audio experience, okay? We're not talking about that. We're talking in comparing Bang & Olufsen H95s to other premium Bluetooth headphones that you can purchase today and compare the two so you can see a contrast between what you're paying for when you buy an H95s as opposed to something that costs significantly less. So what I'm going to do is we're going to compare the H95s, the Bang & Olufsen H95s, which is $1,400, and we're going to compare it to something in the likes of a Bose Quiet Comforts headphones. Now that's around about the $500 mark. Now the reason why I don't want to choose like something like the AirPods Max currently is because the AirPods Max are around about $900, right? So between $900 and $1,400, there is not a lot of comparison or contrast to be able to see how much better the H95s are. Maybe in a future video, if you want me to cover that, hit the like button and put a comment down below in this video if you want me to compare the AirPods Max with the H95s. So for this particular comparison, when it comes to performance, we're going to compare it with the Bose headphones, Bluetooth headphones, and the Bang & Olufsen H95s. So let's start off with the sonic frequency performance. Now, again, before we get into it, there's a lot of caveats, isn't there? Now, when it comes to sonic performance, we're not going to talk about the technical. We're not going to talk about the technical numbers because, for example, it goes down from 12 hertz to 24,000 kilohertz. Now, I know some audiophiles may be able to hear that. For the general population, people can't hear all the way up to 24,000 kilohertz. So I want to talk about it from a consumer's language, from a consumer's perspective, so that if you are thinking about buying these headphones in the future, then you know what you're getting into, not just the text, the tech, what do you call it? The tech specs sheet that you can find online. So for the sonic performance, let's talk about the highs first. Now, remember, we're comparing Bose to H95s. On the H95s, the sonic performance for the highs is incredibly shimmery. That's how I would describe it, and it is incredibly pleasant. Think of it kind of like an airiness when you're listening to live music. Think of it's shimmery, it's kind of golden, it's kind of very precise without the harshness of, of tinniness. Now, what I've noticed though, and the reason why I kind of mention that is because when you flip over to the Bose, for example, the highs, the way that the highs are represented for those pairs of that pair of headphones, is the highs kind of, they don't have the airiness, and they are also a little bit tinny. And it, over a period of time, if you're listening to music, for example, for a few hours, those kind of high frequency fatigues the ears. And I know this because I've also had the Bose before, and I noticed that when I compare the Bose to the H95s, you put the Bose on, there is a certain level of tinniness in the high frequencies, and it doesn't feel like it's open at all. And then you put the H95s on, and it shimmers. Oh my goodness, it shimmers. Now, is it worth an extra $900 though? Well, that's up to you to decide. But that's one of the characteristics that I noticed with the high frequencies. And the mid frequencies next. On the H95s, you would be fair to assume that the mid frequencies are very full, and it's very like it's full bodied. It is well represented. It's not muddy. It is like if there is a a drum or something of a voice, it is accurately represented in that mid frequencies. Whereas on the Bose, for example, you'll find that sometimes it gets a little bit muddy. It kind of sounds a bit like this, right? Instead of like this. I think that's the best way to describe it. And on the lows, low frequencies, the H95s are incredibly accurate. And it almost gets, it doesn't almost, it does. When you listen to like something heavy bass, like subwoofer frequencies, it gets the booty bumping, okay? It gets the booty bumping. Now, does the booty get bumping on the Bose? It does. But it's like, it's not as full. It's not as confident. It's like, it's just a lesser version of the booty bump. That's the best way that I can explain it. I promise you, and I'm not even overhyping this, and I'm not even like over exaggerating it. I am a bit of a nerd, and I'm a bit of a kind of an addict to audio. And when I listen to the Bang Olufsen H95s, I put on like something like, let's say, like look at Eminem's Kill Shot, for example. You know how it's got that really low subwoofer frequency that kicks in during like the chorus and the verses? That rumbles like in your head on the H95s. On the lower end, like the Bose, you'll lose it. You lose the low frequencies, or it feels super uncontrolled. So within the sonic frequencies, I am incredibly happy with the performance of the Bang & Olufsen H95s. And if there's nothing else, if all you care about is sonic frequency, I would say go and buy it. What the? Siri's talking to me. So if you're all you care about is sonic frequency, then Bang & Olufsen H95s, you'll have a joy using these pairs of headphones. Next, let's talk about design. Now, design-wise, H95s, it is incredibly built. It is made out of aluminum. It's made out of leather. It's made of two types of leather, cowhide and sheepskin. Sheepskin for the ear cups and the cowhide for the headband piece. It's the pinnacle of what you can buy in the headphone space. Compared to, for example, the Bose, where most of it is plastic. I know that some of the products now, they have aluminum for the stems, but majority of the headphones that you can get within the Bose price range are primarily plastic. Now you can go up, and I know I'm not going to compare it throughout the entire thing for the rest of this video, but I'm just going to mention it. For example, though, when you go up to the $900 range, like an AirPods Max, most of that stuff is made of stainless steel and aluminum. So you're already getting something there at the $900 price point that you would get on the $1,400. But I would say Is the design of the Bang & Olufsen H95s beautiful? Hell freaking yeah. Plus the fact that you get an aluminum case, it is pretty bonkers. Controls. Now, I love the controls of the Bang & Olufsen's, and they have, just to kind of recap some of it, for the dials, you have two dials. Left controls your transparency mode to off to noise cancellation, and the right controls the volume. Now, you've got also a swipe gesture, touch-sensitive gesture, where you can swipe back and forth and up and, yes, back and forth to switch tracks on the ear cups itself. And then you also have a button for the assistant, but I don't use that very much. Now, compare that to the controls typically found on a $400 or $500 headphones. You generally have, buttons for all the controls on the ear cups. There's no touch sensitivity gesture, and there's no kind of, it's just buttons, pretty stock standard. Now, connectivity-wise, look, let's not even talk about this. Connectivity-wise, it is fantastic. If you have a Bluetooth, if you're connected by Bluetooth, then the Bluetooth will work very, very well. I've done, like, for example, I've gone into work and I've used them, and the kitchen is like 15 meters away. I can keep them on, and there's no interruption in signal, so that's fine. If you're one of the type of person who is like, will the Bluetooth work if I if I leave my phone on my desk and I decide to go into a labyrinth in my office and then go into, the elevator, it's fully metal, and if it still connects, it's good. Look, come on, man. Like, the Bluetooth is good. The Bluetooth is fine. The battery-wise and connectivity for the other one is also good. Everything runs on the same Bluetooth anyways nowadays, so that's fine. Battery-wise, Bang & Olufsen rates the Beoplay H95s for 38 hours, and it's pretty accurate. I listen to, for example, my headphones, for 4 or 5 hours a day when I'm working, and they last for about the entire week before I charge them, and they're probably not even flat. And you would probably expect to get the same kind of performance from, the lower end, right? At this astronomical price point, at the $400 or $500 range as well. So for all of that stuff, right, $900 price difference, the only really major difference between a $500 pair of headphones and a $1,400 pair of headphones is the sonic performance, the Bang & Olufsen sonic performance, and then the design, and probably a little bit with the controls. Most of the stuff that you're paying for is diminishing returns, right? Because if you stop at the $900 price point and you end up going, for example, with the AirPods Max, you could probably get majority of what the Bang & Olufsen offers, minus the metal hard case, in that $900 pair of headphones. However, having said that, owning the Bang & Olufsen H95s is a special thing, because not only do you have a product that represents the 95th birthday of Bang & Olufsen, but you are holding kind of the Beolab 90. I would probably say, when it comes to sonic performance, the Beolab 90 on your head. It is that good. And I think that if you are willing to just splurge one time, if you're willing to just go big money and just burn it all, then the Bang & Olufsen H95s is definitely worth the money. However, having said that, there are 3 things that I dislike about this product. There are things that I can dislike, of course. The first thing, and I will probably say, this might actually be like one of those deciding factors for a person, whether or not they want to buy this product or not. The first thing is transparency mode. Now, transparency mode is not spectacular by any means at all. I think that if there was like a development cost that Bang & Olufsen assigned to this product, 99% was everything, 1% was freaking transparency mode. I don't understand why. It's not great. As a comparison, when you put the AirPods Max on your ears, for example, and you turn on transparency mode, it it feels like you're not wearing anything. You can literally hear your surroundings as you would normally. You can hear people talking to you as you would normally, and it is actually a very magical and incredible experience. When you are using the Bang & Olufsen H95s and you turn it to transparency mode, in many cases, I don't even realize I'm using transparency mode, but then I go, oh, I actually can kind of hear what's going on outside, and that's when I realize I'm actually using transparency mode. But it's not good. It's really, really not. So most of the time, I actually don't use it. But that's one of the things where I'm like, but how is that worth my money? Because I have $1,400 worth of pair of headphones, but it gets bested by the AirPods Max, where I can literally listen to my music and hear my surroundings perfectly clearly. Whereas on the H95s, I can't do that. So it's one of those things where I'm like, if you're actually planning to buy headphones like this, you know that you are buying the design, know that you are buying the prestige, know that you're buying the audio quality first and foremost for the 1400, and not for the other pleasantries like transparency mode. Because if you're in it for the transparency mode, if you're in it for active noise cancellation, AirPods Max outperforms this by 4-5 times easy. And it actually kind of hurts me to say that. The second thing I don't like from H95s is the volume. Now, I'm not really a volume junkie, and I don't turn it up to 100% all that often. But H95s, if I were to compare it to, for example, a Bose or an AirPods Max even, it probably reaches like an 80% volume level compared to AirPods Max and a Bose. So if you like playing your music loud, this is probably not the headphones for you, because you will find it very, very lacking when it comes to just audio loudness. Now, maybe those two things are already kind of, it's like, oh, shoot, should I even buy it? Really, the third thing, and I've kind of talked about this a few times already, the third thing I dislike about the H95s is really, truly at its cost. Like, you need to essentially justify why you are buying a $1,400 headphones, whether it's for the prestige, whether it's for the sonic performance, whether it's for the design, the hard case, just all of that stuff. You need to be able to justify that in order for you to be able to comfortably say, here, have $1,400, when you can get pretty much 99% of the design is more than a percent. You can get 90% of the Bang & Olufsen H95s just by buying an AirPods Max if you are an Apple user. So those three things is a make or break to some people. Do you care about transparency mode? Yes, then this is probably not for you, regardless of how much you love the design. Do you like to run your headphones loud? If yes, then this is, again, not for you, because these things can only reach 80% of the volume than the other competitors. And then the third, do you actually care about money to a point where you'd spend, $500 more than an AirPods Max? If that's yes, then you'd end up with an AirPods Max and not the H95s. However, having said all that, and I've said however, this is like a however of a however, isn't it? At the end of the day, to me, as an audiophile, as an appreciator of design, as an appreciator of, I guess, the icon of the H95s, I think the Bang & Olufsen H95s are fairly worth it. I do have to kind of use them in very specific case-by-case scenario, for example, where, I won't use them outside because transparency mode sucks. So if I can use it at home while doing things around the house, it is freaking an insane experience. But it's one of those niches, right? You're kind of putting a niche product on a niche situation, and you're paying a premium of $1,400. Is it worth it? I don't know. And it's only up to you, I guess, to be able to determine that. So that's my thoughts on the H95s. I really hope that this video helped you to understand a little bit more about this product before you buy it. And I hope, tell me in the comments if you end up buying the H95s, because look, it is a phenomenal product. It is a sight to behold. And it is just a beautiful pair of headphones. So yeah, that's the end of the rant. So yeah.